Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and I'm on a quest to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. Recently, my kids decided that they wanted to rewatch the first installment of Five Nights at Freddy's because their mother is taking them tomorrow to see the sequel because they have about 3 weeks of holidays because of Christmas, which is crazy to be a kid again. To be a kid again. So this is the first time I've actually watched this film. It's from 2023 and it stars Josh Hutcherson and a number of other people in various roles, as as other movies do. Um, Horror is not really my genre. I don't really watch a lot of horror, but this one felt kind of not very scary to me. And so I was doing a little bit of research before I started. And I mean, there are a few jump scares and stuff, but it's PG-13. So this is basically like the Gremlins of a modern generation. But the Gremlins, I think that they were equally malicious as well. The Gremlins were just a force of chaos, but these these spirits trapped in these animatronic animals are more malicious because they've been controlled by this evil serial killer. And I don't know. I think that it was okay, like 6 out of 5 maybe. It's not my favorite genre. As I mentioned, the performances are good. There's a little girl who does a good job as somebody who's been traumatized, and there is this kind of recurring theme where the main character wants to have this dream because his brother has been kidnapped and he wants to see who's kidnapped him. And so he has the dream again and again, and different things happen in the dream. So that's a kind of interesting plot device. And the animatronics are really well done. I think it's a combination of real suits and CGI. So it looks really, really good and scary and creepy all at the same time. I guess my only two thoughts would be one, Five Nights at Freddy's, the game is sort of like a puzzle horror game, and it's really hard to translate the mechanics of a video game into a movie. But I think maybe it would have been better if there was more problem solving in this because it seems it's just a straight up slasher flick with a bit of a mystic bent to it that is connected to the story of the video games. So that's one thing I think could have been a bit better. And in the beginning, there's a scene where another security guard is being murdered, and he's trying to figure out how to get out of the office, and he's doing things that you do in the game. Um, yeah, that's the first thing. And the other thing is just horror. People in horror movies always are. They are probably the stupidest characters in all of movie. Like even more in all of film. Like even more so than people in romantic comedies or whatever, because people in romantic comedies are like hypersensitive to misunderstanding, and if something can be misunderstood in the worst possible way for the person they theoretically love, they will interpret it that way. But people in horror movies are like, yeah, there's a strange noise coming from there. I should go investigate. And my daughter, when we were watching this, after she's like, oh, what did you think about it? And I said, what I just said. I said, people in horror movies are really dumb. And she said, well, if there was a strange noise coming from my closet, I would go investigate. But you don't live in a haunted house, so there's no danger, or you're not in like some creepy animatronic filled restaurant that hasn't been open for 20 years because there's been serial murderers involved. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. There's also, but that's not just a criticism of this movie, it's a criticism of the entire genre. But I think that I need to watch more horror films, more like suspense films, because as I said, it's not a genre that I know a lot about. Um, there is kind of like a plot detail that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think that's connected to the story of the video game as well. So I won't mention that. And I guess would I really want to see the second one? I don't know. Like my kids want to see it, but I think it's just because it's sort of like a cultural phenomenon for them. Kind of like Gremlins would have been when we grew up, although they're a bit older than I was when Gremlins came out. I don't know. What do you think about Five Nights at Freddy's? If you like the film, uh, put your thoughts in the comments. And if you hated the film, put your thoughts in the comments. And if you like my reviews, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers by the end of January, and I have 170. If you're watching on or listening on Spotify, please give me a follow. I'm trying to get 15 followers by the end of January as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.